Hey guys! So, how y'all doing today? Do my little intro, my usual intro. Ah, that's a great way to start. I'm gonna stop trying to use my fingers on there. I'm not quite sure how I want to do that with finger picking. Oh, big dust! Alright. Oh, forgot to check and make sure things are all on. What do I say? La. La. Looks like it. I did a previous video on this and forgot to just unmute the mic. Then ever since the last big update on OBS, I found myself having to click on start stream twice. In fact, I better freaking check. Okay, it is streaming. So I'll end up thinking I started it if I just click it once, and it's not really started. So I already did this wrap up, what was supposed to be a wrap up of the tuning stability test a few days ago. About an hour and a half long video, and right after I finished doing my outro song, I looked over to shut it down, and it had never started. As such, I can't say quite the same things that I did in that video. God darn nose. Sorry. Mainly that I did finally have to unlock the nut on this guitar. That was due to the only actual problem that I had with any of these three guitars over the whole time. In fact, I expected my non-locking one to actually fail the test pretty quickly. But it's just been the only time it actually needed anything was I think day 5. The whole guitar was just a little bit higher than true, E concert tuning or whatever you want to call it. It was in tune with itself, but everything was just a hair high. my guess on that is either Mr. Cold Fan here just made everything tighten up, or more likely we had a lot of, the rain, so humidity changes, temperature changes. Uh, More than likely that caused the neck bow to change a little. So what it probably really needed, rather than being tuned slightly, it probably needed the truss rod loosened slightly. But yeah, the the one big thing and why I was going to end the test was having to unlock this, because figured pretty much once that had been unlocked and I had to touch the real tuner, the tuning stability test would be over. But, well, to explain what caused that, it's not a tuning stability problem. What it was a string slipping problem. So, let's see. Let me put this down because I don't need it right now. See if I can get a little closer here. Maybe cook this up a little bit. Yeah, we have the fine tuners, and when you change the strings, you usually want to put them kind of in the middle of their travel, so that you have some room to tune both directions if you need to. But what happened was, like I don't know, it wasn't a random. It was kind of a random thing. It wasn't a steady thing, and it was very slow and uncommon. But very slowly and gradually, if I checked the tuning, I would need to turn this one down a bit to tighten the string a little bit. The string kept getting a little low, and it was always a matter of needing to tighten it slightly. And it took 2 months, well, over 2 months, to get to the point where it was from here down until the head here bottomed out against the tail. So, that's more than an eighth, less than a quarter. Okay. Yeah, there's about an eighth inch of thread there, and I used that up after. We started June 16th, and I think that was maybe August 19th, maybe 20, or a little over 20, I don't know. It's been at least 3 days ago, maybe more like 5. Anyway, I couldn't tune it any lower, so it was only a matter of time until it would get the pitch would get a little too low again, and I wouldn't be able to tighten anymore because it was tightened as much as it could on this end. So to sort of reset that, not actually fix it, because I don't know which end the slippage was happening. It could be that this block isn't getting enough grip on the string here, and so that end of the string may be slowly slipping out. Or if you've ever noticed that that tuning your pegs up and down up there should not matter once it's locked. But just vibration of various things, these your strings can get looser up here over time. Sometimes they'll be really low. It doesn't affect tuning at all, unless your string is slipping in your nut a bit. And when this gets really low, when the tension gets really low here, due to physics, it's going to naturally want to pull that string this way in order to balance the tension between this side and that side. If it's locked enough, it can't. If it's not locked enough, then at some point, if that gets loose enough, it's going to start pulling it tighter. Like the tension here will overwhelm, and well, this half of the string, the tight part, will actually pull on the looser part until it's a tug of war, until it's balanced again, or until it gets balanced enough that there's not enough pull in the nut anymore to overwhelm the lock. Anyway, this is a Gotoh tuner, lock that's only a couple months old. So I wouldn't expect it to slip, but I did check, that, and it was really low. It was like that. So I was like, well, maybe it is slipping on this end. Only way to know is to leave it and see if this, eventually pops out. Because then that would tell me. Or to make sure the tension up on that end is higher than this tension, which I do have it like that right now. If this stops going, looser, then it'd be likely that it will slip in at that end. Okay, so let's check the guitar. I haven't tuned any of these today or anything. I didn't tune before I played or anything. So, this is just how it is. Where's my thing? I've been using this tuner mostly. Runs off of vibrations in the guitar. I'm going to set right. Okay. This, out of various small tuners like that I've tried, I really like this one the best. Because it really seems like if it's green and stays green as it kind of fades, then the guitar will be in tune. But that kind of thing's always a bit of a balance, because it's like, how many decimals past the decimal point, how many places do you go? Do you consider 0.0005 to be perfectly accurate, or 0.000005, or just 0.5? How far do you let something go off of perfect before you call it imperfect? This lets it go off a little bit, but not enough to make it actually sound out of tune or anything. And that compared, this stupid tuner keeps jumping to the other monitor. There we go. Compared to this tuner, let's go straight off the signal. Let's see. This tuner is much more accurate, you know, much nearer that actual perfect pitch, but it's much more sensitive to different vibrations or anything. It's twitchy. And it'll drive you crazy. Now, well, let's just go ahead and test this real quick and see what it looks like. It looks potentially a little low over there. I wouldn't usually use this one on this test, but just you guys can see it too. That's very damn close. This one's actually, yeah, showing up. As the note decays, this goes ahead and shifts over to showing orange instead of green, right about there. Now it's bouncing. Now it's showing a little low. Same with this one. And that is a hair low. So, before you tune a guitar, if you pick up a guitar like this, and tune this level, ooh, you can hear that's a little bit off harmonically. Yeah, it's a little high. Since that one's a little high in comparison, it's picking it up. So harmonically, this is very close to being in tune. Enough so that you aren't going to hear it really. Sometimes I'm refretting because it'll sound a little off, but it's actually, you know, I've bent one of the strings a little too much or pushed down a little too much. Some of those chords sound particularly bad if it isn't in tune. Anyway, so I would call that, you know, if I didn't have a tuner to tell me, other than that one that I can tell is off a bit, I would feel this was in tune. But before you think about, you know, tuning, say that G that's a little bit off, before you think about touching any of the tuners, give your strings a good stretch. And G's gone down. The reason is sometimes as the instrument sets, things are always moving with a guitar, like truss rod tightness makes the neck move a little bit when temperatures change, environment variables, humidity. Strings are not something that's possible to change tension, so these things can tighten up a little bit, and maybe this one might tighten up a little more than others. And a big thing, probably one of the biggest things directly affecting like single string tuning instability, like one string keeps going wonky, or two, but the rest stay perfect, is a torsional load, as in twist. So instead of just being just having tension in these two directions, you can end up with a twist on the string too, and that will make it want to tighten up and loosen different than the others when it sits or when it gets stretched. And if you've ever had a guitar that, like, you pick it up, everything's off but say that G, so you're like, well, I need to tune that. G's a little high. Joe's just a little high. Just tune better. Actually, I may have gone. Did I go a little too low? No. Okay, it says fine there. Maybe still a little too high. Huh. Anyway, say that you pick this guitar up and this one's like always like, if it's been setting for more than an hour or maybe even just 10 minutes, then it's off. So you're like, okay, so you tune it, and then you start playing. And like within like 5 minutes, you find that string's off again, and you end up actually having to tune it back to where it was when you started. Before you tuned it at all. Like if I had to tighten it a quarter turn, I'd have to loosen it a quarter turn to get it back in tune. And then you set the thing down, and you pick it up a little while later, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or an hour or something, and the damn thing has gone off again. So you have to tune it, play a little bit, it goes back, you have to tune it back, same thing over and over. That's tuning instability. That's, it's not staying stable. But that is a really big sign that what you've got is some twist in that string. Because, as soon as you start playing it, you stretch it, and you get that bit of torsion kind of stretched out enough that it will be consistent for a while. But as it sits, it tightens up again. Anyway, one thing you can do is just you have that string that's always going off, give it a big stretch and check again, because there's a very good chance that will make it in tune. But it's only temporary. It only lasts until it gets tightened up again or whatever. The way to permanently fix it is to get the twist out of the string. And the way I do it is, say it was my G. G's always like the big offender for me anyway. But so take your G, you unlock the middle lock, tune it down, block it finger tight. That's just to kind of keep the string from being able to go that way. To make things easier, put something in there to block the tremolo down. You can put something there. You can add more than one thing. This just makes the string even more lax. And then go ahead and loosen that Allen. Yeah. The looser this is by the time you take it out, you don't want it too loose, but you want it loose enough that it's not going to jump out and hit you in the eye when you take the tension off. So if I take this out, I'm wondering whether I should just go ahead and actually do it or not. I have a great idea. Instead of this one, oh, I haven't checked this guitar, have I? Budge. Well, we've checked this one. Let's go ahead and check this one just to finish the stability test on it. There's another reason I wanted to end the tuning stability experiment. If I want to keep these locked down to check their stability and not mess with anything, tensions or whatever, I can't do any maintenance or any modification. I can't do anything with the guitar except play it until the experiment's over, because anything that I do is going to contaminate my results potentially. Yeah. Anyway, let's check her out. Bass, guitar. Let's say guitar, doesn't it? Getting old sucks. Huh, violin. That's not a guitar. Little high. Pretty good. Little high. Make sure you're not putting any tension on any of the strings. Because, like, if I play this note, or play this string, but I bend this string, it lowers the pitch of all these other strings. So, I need to quiet them, but then I pick my finger up just a little bit so I'm not pushing down on these other strings. That doesn't actually help tuning stability directly, but what it does do is keep you from tuning unnecessarily. Because, if you don't realize that you're getting tension on this. Let's see. I had jumbo frets just pushing all the way down hard might throw it off. Doesn't take a lot. Maybe if I just push down on 3. Oh, yeah, that dropped. Yeah, it's just pushing down on these 3 strings to the frets adds enough tension on these 3 strings to drop the tension on there. So yeah, if you don't realize that's happening, then you would tune this G to pitch, move your hand, and suddenly the G would be back out of pitch. So yeah, it's an indirect way of helping with tuning stability because it's not tricking you into fucking it up yourself. Ah. My tuner shut down. It has a bad habit of doing that. Good old floating trim adjustment. Fun times. Well, actually, this isn't adjustment. This is just verifying tuning stability. I did a tuning stability experiment that's lasted about 2 months. It was really supposed to be just a couple of days, but by day 5, I kind of stopped keeping track in detail because there was nothing to keep track of if they weren't going out of tune. Not enough, anyway, to matter. I'll be right back. Oh, and it's great to see you again, Stockhouse. Haven't heard from you in a while. There's also something that sweet. I think like the sweet tea we used to get over at the other house. After a while, like was in the fridge too long, it would start getting these little like gel beads on the bottom. It's like not good. Those is happy hour or something. I miscut that. was arranging for Coca-Cola. I just remembered I had a frozen one. So, let's see. Ah. There we go. Now it's on the right monitor. Thought I heard a buzz. It's like B's a little high. But, so, like I said earlier, I usually do the Jimmy chord. So it gets all the middle stuff. Then do the bottom string, top string. In flat. By ear, I would have considered this in tune. E's in the green on here, which, oh, see if the A is too. Yeah, like I said, if it stays in the green on this tuner, even if it's a little off on that one, it's gonna be good enough, because, and you can tell harmonically if you want to test it. Those are not. The E's a big one if it's a little off or very far off of the A at all. It sounds funny. I need a little lighter touch up there, don't I? Okay, so A is very good. Oh, my D's is low. It's not going back. So my D needs to be tuned a little, actually. B's actually a bit high. And check the E again. Whenever you have something out of tune up here on a floater, check your low strings first, because any amount of change I do on the E is going to affect those, and the effect that this string has is going to be greater than if I started on this side. So a lot of times you do this a little tighter, and these might come back in line. You know, like they're the only reason they're out of tune in the first place is because of that wrong tension. Hello. Let me check. BRB. care if I need to do anything. I wanted to talk to my sister.
Sorry, that'll be here in a little bit. He's
So-
dropping off the live traps.
Oh, you got a
Well, I don't have any other way of
catching things?
capturing the cat. I mean, except for just manhandling her and shoving her into something like a bag.
Yeah, that's not very.
It's a thought. But we'll go with the live traps for plan A.
Alright.
Plan B can be backstuffing. At least now that she's seen that you guys are actually alive, she has been more trusting of me.
Maybe she thought you killed us.
I think she did. I literally think she thought I had murdered you guys, and then she went on an epic quest to try and find your bodies
In the basement.
in the basement.
Makes sense to
Failing
me.
that, she decided she needed food more than she needed to continue her quest. But then when she saw you guys there the other day, she was just like, "Oh, you're alive." So now she's been a lot more trusting. So it wasn't me. I didn't do it. So I really hate to break that trust by
Stuffing her in a bag.
stuffing her in a bag.
Talk about moving a cat.
Usually, I can't move her in the cat carrier that I have. It requires a lot of cooperation on the part of the other individual. Okay,
Hmm.
hop back on the computer and try and pay my phone bill.
Hmm.
Although I must admit, I had digressed.
Hmm. Okay, so yeah, D and B are a bit off, but as I was saying, if you got like a D and or some of these higher ones up and an A or an E or an E and an A, go ahead and tune these first, lowest first. So if you got E and A off, tune E then A, and then instead of going over here, go back to the E. See if it's in tune now. And if it is, go ahead and continue. But basically you want to prioritize these. You may even want to, like I said, if you did the E and then the A, go back to the E before doing any of these, because when you tune the A up, the E is going to go down a little bit, and it's a string that's going to have a big impact on the other side. So, need to go back, try to get those two to pitch, then go check one of these, and after you check one of these, go back over here, check these, keep going back and checking the bottom, because otherwise, when you if you do the D first, it's gonna make it so you'll get this attuned, and then the D will be out again. By the time you get over there, you want to have these as close to the right tension as possible, if that makes sense. I'll go ahead and change this here. Okay, so my G is a little high here. So I'll leave the G alone. Oh, maybe I need to check that again. Getting the fan off of the strings. Not even picking up on my thing for some reason. is my toner not working? It just isn't doing anything. Pick it up. So yeah, I've got that G's high, and I get the feeling that it is. Oh, don't tune your guitar in up here and expect it to stay in tune when you put it down here. It's a classic demonstration. Okay, I'm supporting this by the body, not the neck, so just watch that A. See how far it goes off? And it goes back. If you want to not get tricked into tuning your thing unnecessarily, which will make you have to tune it again, don't bench tune it when you're going to be playing it. You can bench tune it when you're going to be doing maintenance in order to, you know, like if you're going to do your intonation, because it's not going to be moving before you plan to play it. But once you're done with making adjustments and stuff, you need to go ahead and go into tuning it in the right position. Same position you want to be able to play it in. Anyway, let us demonstrate our detorsioning technique. Alright. So, move this up here, get this out of the way. Oops, maybe I need that after all. I'll put it up here though. Okay, so I can read it. So, like I said, step one is loosen the nut. Just this, I'm on the center one, so just the center piece. Tune it down. A ways. Alright. Okay, so give it a little bit of a pull on this string. Because we want this slack to be on this side of the nut. Then lock the nut with your fingers, just finger tight. It's only to hold it in place. We're not going to be playing, so it's not going to shift around. Now, we'll turn off the volume. So now we've got a pretty good amount of slack in there. And we're going to need that, because we're going to be recutting this. So now, this here, if it'll focus, It's hard for me to do this with the camera. There we go. It's a long T-handled Allen wrench. But the thing is, one of the things that makes this great, it's the right size for these, it's the right size for the lock-a nuts, which, because they're locks, which is the most, it's going to be what you're using the most. So I've put this into my nut. When I try to turn it, it flexes. It's already tight. So this starts to flex without turning the screw. That means this screw is tight enough. You don't need to tighten it anymore. If you tighten it more, you're probably likely to break something or strip something, or who knows. You don't need to horse it down. Once it starts to flex, it's kind of like a torque wrench. You know you're there. And so that helps keep from over tightening things. Because, if you have a little Allen wrench, you don't know how much you're tightening it really. It makes you want to just horse it on there or go, well, maybe finger pull tight. This shows you that is right. Okay. Just loosen it. It's nice to spin it. Just I don't want to go back too far on mine because that damn thing will fall out. Alright, time for some practical demonstration here. Oh, it is falling out. Come up, come up. I might have to. There's a little bump on the tip of this screw that goes into a little hole on the back of this block, and the little black blockhead started falling off of that little peg on the end. So I needed to retighten it a little bit so it doesn't have enough space to fall off. Alright. Anyway, boink. Alright, I suspect that wasn't slipping because there's a lot of string in there. And I think I would have noticed if that came out. Anyway, it's not going to be easy to see, but this is at an angle. It's not straight down towards the base plate. So if your strings weren't twisting, then this would point straight down. But a lot of times you'll pull these out and they'll be going off to the side or straight up. That's because you had a twist in your string. And when you unlock it, that twist works itself out. The string self-straightens. So our goal here is to clip off at the bent part, a little above the bent part, so we want the string back to fully straight. This has a little bit of a bend in it. Maybe it was shifting, I don't know. I'm going to correct that a bit. So I don't really want it sitting sideways in the block or something. Okay, that's pretty straight. I don't know if I'm happy. Yeah, I think that'll be alright, maybe. I don't know, I think I want a little bit more. About as far as I can go there. So I'm gonna have to try to pull this a little tighter. So I've got that nut finger tight. I can do that. Just keep, you don't want to bend this string. You've got to pull it straight. You know, if you really crimp on it, you'll have a kink in your string. We don't want that. So, in fact, maybe I could just hold on to that with that. Oh no. Fail. Let's get a little more meat. Okay. I don't need a lot of tension. I'm just trying to make sure it's okay, that's a little too much. I want enough that I'm going to be able to go all the way down into that block. And the block is a bit low on this. Damn it, a little more. Or I mean, a little less. Okay. So, retighten that. That'll be alright. Anyway, we want to try to get this as straight down as possible because we don't want to put new bends in the string. A nice new full Floyd would be nice. Ah, it's falling clear off that damn pig. Wouldn't normally have this problem, but this is an old licensed trim, and its blocks were not exactly the same as the factory, a Floyd set of blocks. This is a Floyd replacement block that would work on a real Floyd, and it's basically the way it lines up with that peg is too low, leaves it too low in here. Oh, god damn. This is not a problem most people would have. Damn it. Okay. So I've got it back a little bit. Alright. I'll quickly explain this this tremolo. This was a licensed Floyd Rose that I got in like 1992. It was the cheapest thing they had on Musician's Friend out of their catalog. So this has been on this guitar over 30 years. And it was a weird, cheap one to begin with. To show exactly how weird, it's got Fender style studs here for raising and lowering or tipping the saddle, but the saddles are held down by regular Floyd style Allens here. So if you use these, then it'll actually bend the saddle. A normal Floyd wouldn't have these. It's not designed to work with them. So this is an oddity. Strange creature. But if people say that you have to buy an original Floyd Rose OFR or else it's just not gonna ever be tuning stable, this thing has been the most freaking stable guitar ever for the last 2 months. I mean, the only way it could have been more tuning stable is if I never touched the fine tuners at all, because I have only just barely touched them a couple of times in 2 months. It's not exaggeration, it's just the way it is. So a lot of it is about the tuning stability thing is about getting it set up right in the first place, getting your strings stretched properly, and then if you end up with the torsional load, you've got to get rid of that if you want exceptional tuning stability. But those things can be done on the cheapest Floyd, a special, and you know, then you have something that's tuning stable, so be happy. It's not the tremolo that's generally causing the problem. Damn that thing. Almost have to. Even that's not getting it. Anyway, I'm not going to be able to show you, but I'm going to get this. Make sure your string doesn't get wound up in the other strings, like mine's trying to do. As soon as I can get this block in, I'm going to tip that string and try to get it exactly centered and going straight down. If it's an angle, then you've got problems. Doesn't necessarily have to be perfect, but the better you get those things done, the better your stability will be. So you want to do it the best you can. And I'm just basically here to tell you what things matter. Yeah? That ain't a problem. What'd you say? We're about to try to use that and see what. Alright. I'll put it over here and we'll see what we can do. My stepmother appeared with some free spices. I don't think she's ever been to this house before. Well, the problem is I can't really tell where the hole's supposed to be. It would be better to, it'd probably be better for me to get a modern special and put it on here. Or take the saddles off a special and put them on. Problem here is is a saddle that used non-conforming blocks. Can't remember if the frickin' hole's at the top of the block. Must be at the top of the block. Is that it right there? Okay, well, I can get it on there. Alright, let's try this again. Ah. No. Fuck. Ah. On the plus side, this only needs to be done when the strings are changed, usually. Ah! I had it and then I actually slipped and knocked it back off. Once again, make sure your string hasn't gotten caught onto the other ones. Why does it seem like my string is shorter? I think it is. Well, maybe not. I think I usually pull these back. I think I usually clip them off so that the string is about there. There we go. I gotta make sure that's straight up and down. Not quite at the bottom of the groove. Pulling the freaking tip. Sheesh. Finally. Tighten that till it starts flexing. Keep a light tension. This isn't something that usually takes this long. It usually takes, about a minute. Anyway, we don't want too much slack in this, because basically having too much slack had have made it so we had to turn the tuning peg a lot, and the more you turn the tuning peg, the more likely it is to cause twist in the string. I've done a demonstration with 2 tuning pegs on clamped onto a piece of wood, and as I tightened, I had a rubber band between them. As I tightened one of the tuning pegs with a little rod sticking out so that I could hook a rubber band on it, it would start twisting the rubber band. I've done it more than once, and it doesn't always seem to do it, so it can be kind of an inconsistent thing. Is that too high? I think so. Oh, but that one's low, so let me tune this up to pitch first. I know this one's off. Now this one. Good idea at this point to make sure your fine tuners are where you want them. Something that it's good to understand is your ultimate goal is to have all of the tension on the strings, like when you have it locked at this end and locked at that end. All that matters is what's going on in between those 2 locks. And I don't remember what I was talking about. Maybe it'll come back. Oh, has to do with the finishing flat kind of concept. So you want to maintain your consistency here. And something you have to remember is, as you play, you're constantly like bending strings and playing on strings. It's always bending the strings. And when you bend your strings, if you watch this bar, the bar dips down. And of course, this pulls this string tighter and than it normally is. So the thing is, you want to keep that same kind of, after it's been pulled, kind of tension level across everything, because that's how it's gonna be after you start playing it. It's gonna settle here. So if I pull this bar back, well, if it hasn't gone 100% back to the same spot in here, the tuning might be a little off. But I can either push down, aka finish flat. Doesn't have to have the volume on, or you can have the strings muted or whatever. That will simulate or emulate the same kind of thing that's going to happen in a few seconds, like when you pull that string. If you just pulled this back and then go, oh, my guitar's out of tune, you would tune it for this secondary state. a state that only matters when you're pulling back the bar. And in every other case, whether you've lowered the bar or you've played a string or you bent a string on purpose, it has always pulled the bar down. Just from, that's the way it's going to happen. And you're always going to be pulling this direction. You're always going to be pulling the bar a little flat just to play the instrument. So that's where you want it to center. And that's where you want all the tension to be perfect. You're not worried about what happens after this if you do this and it goes back to your normal playing tension level. If that makes sense. And yeah. And if you ever do any tuning, that's why I said go ahead and stretch the strings. That also pulls this down. It's the same as finishing flat in that regard. And then check it, because, if that tune's, yeah, well, maybe that's probably says enough. And also, after tuning a little bit, give it a little tug before you play it, because that tugged state is like a stretch state. That's going to be how it is as soon as you play that note in a few minutes. I've got it close. Alright, and one other thing for tuning stability is want your strings stretched. These have had some the tension off of them for a little bit, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of a stretch here real quick. That is flat. Also, that little those little tugs, when the nut is unlocked, pulls up here against this and kind of helps equalize the tension. Make sure reading's a little more accurate. Just like there. Stick it in, turn it till it starts flexing. Don't need to tighten that anymore. So my D is a little high here, but my G is a little low. But when I tighten this G, this D is going to drop a bit. So let's check our D again. Now our D's perfect. If I had tuned the D first, if I tuned it down and then tuned the G up to where it needed to be, then my D would now be too low because the tension change. So I basically just saved myself some work. All right, those are in tune. Let's give it the beans. Finish flat. That's not reading right. That went high. So there's our big offender. Give it a stretch, make sure it's not. No idea why the A went high. Before I messed with the B, I wanted to go back and check the low strigs. It's kind of weird that I'm having to tune so much. If I'd only had to like barely touch this, I wouldn't count that as tuning, but I count this as tuning. Really weird that my B's need to be adjusted so much. The That low. Oh shit. I wonder if this. I had the tension off here. It may have shifted the D-tuna. So that may be why the whole reason why these didn't go back right. Or as easily as normal. So if that doesn't go fully back into position, things will be awry. Alright. So let's give it the beans again. A little high. E shows a little high there, but it's, yeah, it is. It is. Just barely. E keeps wanting to tighten. Make sure that's not that. Loosening the E a little bit. Raise the A a little bit. D's going a little higher still, but it's getting all very tamed again. Where'd my A go up? It's getting too annoying. Oh shit, I keep getting my strings in front of the cold fan. Trying to look straight with the body. Anyway. Ah. The G has been very stable since I retyped it. That damn thing moving. Had moved. Yeah, sorry for this. It's kind of perplexing because after 2.5 months of just a couple of touches, having to do all this shit. The B's a little off too. Shit, I've almost got too high with the B. Now everything will be off again. This is the horrors. Seems happy now. I lost it. Lost track. I need a new battery in my tuner. I'm gonna have to set this thing up again, but it's into it. It's into it. Anyway, really disappointed that decided to go so wonky and getting that tightened again. Kind of makes me look silly for saying it's so stable, but that was before I unlocked it. Unlocking it and relocking it made it so I had to rebalance everything, which doesn't usually happen. I don't usually have to rebalance the whole thing. I'll go through the last guitar. I'm getting tired. I mean negative A. Yeah, I think maybe this tuner's battery's dying. Tuner station. Assuming nobody's had anything to say on Twitch. Oh shit, I don't even have the. Oh yeah, I did. Never mind. Wonder what was causing that, but were you doing something, running something in the kitchen? Hey, Vic? Yep. Heard something in there. Thought that might explain. Maybe I should have stretched all the strings instead of just those two. Where'd it go? Oh yeah, I'm down. I think something's running in the kitchen and causing a little bit of interference. working, Joel. Let's just go ahead and give it a stretch. Because it's gonna get stretched when I play anyway. Okay, E is really good. A is pretty good. D is fine. G's a little high. B's a little high. Just give those a bit of a stretch. And we'll give these a bit of it. Finish in the middle. How'd that get high? Maybe I need to pull a little more. Yeah. Coke and trunk, need carrier. Okay, I guess I'm the carrier. Go get the Coke. Not cocaine, Coca-Cola. Gotta get excited. just said wait, I was getting you on speaker.
Okay.
Say Vicky's not home for there?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, she's gone out there.
Oh, just here somewhere.
Oh, okay.
You're going out for dinner? Oh, okay. Where are you going? We eat one.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. I feel like Chinese.
Well, I'm all over my work.
Well, I'm in town now. So this,
See you, folks. Have a good dinner.
I'm going down to the freezing conversation.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Come sit this big right here. I think General Tso's chicken. And if you're up for it, some spring rolls and crab rangoon.
Alright. Alrighty. I'll order that,
Oh, maybe one order chicken sticks to share?
okay.
Alright, see you in a bit.
Okay, sorry, I'm getting
Alright. Sound like. Oh my god, hard, that's what you said. Love you too, see you in a while. Okay. 7:30. You get my coats out of the freezer. Had some Gouda, smoked Gouda mac cheese chips. That was very good. Yeah, I'm so tired. Barely think. I need a nap. Let's see if we can get through this video. It's been needing to be done for a while. Hey, some guy. How you doing? I don't think I did any tuning on this. I think I just stretched it. Might take a quick nap. I don't blame you. I'm starting to get slurry speech and all kinds of stuff. Oh, hey, I finally found a way to be able to grip my medium picks and not lose them. Somebody just drove out of my driveway. I'm gonna have to do a video on that. I don't know if it'll show up here. Probably too bright. That's in tune. It doesn't need any tuning. Let's try to turn off this light. See if you can see it. Come on. Refocus. I can't. There we go. And it's the other side, if I can see it again. The angle of the light. See, bumps are stretched. Yeah, all I did was take a little super glue gel and just kind of go dot, 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 dot. Do a bunch of little dots. Just a little bit of goes in between them, but and then let that dry. And fucking A. So I'm gonna do up a batch of them. I'll probably do a video on that. I like, it's based off the design of these that have the little built-in bumps, which you can't probably see. It makes these really easy to hold on to, but they're too flexible for me. Did it with a hot gun? I did super glue gel. I think hot glue would make really big bumps. Which, I mean, that could work too, but not really what I want. Hey, Ducky, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while either. Michael rode the boat and shore of hallelujah. The heck am I doing? Oh, you've been working? Oh, my pickup was in the wrong place. messing up a lot. Damn it. Really need to warm up before trying to play it. Why is it so? Oh well, can't all be Jim's. I think it's outro time. I need to remember to change that battery later. Thanks for coming by, guys. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks again for coming by, some guy. Sorry, I was already so tired by the time you got here. Let's head on out with a little noise pollution. Thank y'all all good night. Rock and roll pick toss. Oh yeah, and this went out of tune, I think. One of the strings. There it is. Did I have it and then it just doesn't seem right. Oh, we finally got a string that's not being happy in here. That's just fine. Now the other string's tightened up. Everything going on. Yeah, it's fine now. Anyway, I gotta go. Take care and have fun, everybody. Oh, I didn't need to go in there. Oh.